Welcome. This is Crime Queen. If you're joining us for the first time, this is the channel where we get excited about love, where we ignite that which dwells from within us, that which comes alive, makes us smile, makes us laugh. Hence, we say the crimson light is life. So, the crimson light is that drive in you, it's that which makes you come alive. Okay, so, and not only that makes us come alive, in fact, I am believing that the fact that Mother Eve ate of the fruit of good and evil made us alive as well, even if we are told that we have been pronounced dead. I believe that, of course, we see that a seed has to die before it grows again, and it goes on and it springs up and it bears more fruit. So we see the cycle of life. So life is like cycles. Okay. Now, the other thing that talking about Mother Eve here, this is Mother Eve here, and of course, this is Adam in the back. Oh, isn't my drawing great? Yes, of course. Now, if you were to ask me, but well, I can only say that's what I remember of my parents. That's how, we remember them as, it's like being children and, there's a stick that they have drawn and call it their parents, and parents would think, oh, that looks nothing like me. So, anyway, hence, I've come up with this as Mother Eve. But not only that, Mother Eve also has told me, or I have been inspired to understand that we are dots. And we are dots, of course, based on the scripture verse that says, I am that I am. So the word that equals 13. And this is what I was just talking about as well, the number 13, because today is Friday the 13th. So we are dots. And perhaps that's another area I need to just explore or emphasize on dots. Okay, and we see that with dots we can have them anyway. It's like particles, often we may need to you they are condensed or more concentrated in a certain area than others, and we can imagine the analogy or the fact, if we want to put it as that when God blew into the man's nostrils, perhaps there was just the two holes, but whatever formation that we have with all the tubes, we just came into that shape that we are. It's just a way of saying that when you blow into a pile of sand or for instance, it takes on a certain shape, doesn't it? It takes on, depending on how your mouth is shaped while you are blowing, or the whole area of the atmosphere, on different aspects of that. So I'm just saying, for instance, we are dots. And so just let's look at the word dots. DOTS, because it's the I am, which I have done presentations on. So I am that, I am, all of those equals 5. So let's just look at this. This is 4, 6, 2, 1, and this is 10 and 3, 13. So we see how 13 becomes that B that I have been talking about, which is on the second column here, that BKT. I have arranged some of these letters, and I have got in my early presentations where I done template to numerology, I have showed why some of these letters have been reconfigured in their position, because I felt it was helping me to understand and make this fun in learning how to memorize the value of the letters. So hence I've got jazz, bucket, luck, development, new, Forks, Gypsy Journey, Headquarters, and Inland Revenue. Now, I was very amused that I was watching a video on, I think it was on numerology, but it did touch, well, it was on numerology. And I was very surprised that to find out that the presenter had used basket and new, of course, he'd use Forks and Gypsy Journey and Headquarters. Of course, he didn't use Inland Revenue, it was something else. So there I was thinking, oh, I wonder whether he saw my presentations and copied me, but his presentation was done in 2013. So I was really amused to think, okay, perhaps it could be seen that I copied him, but no, it's the spirit that moves that way. When you are of like-minded minds, or the spirit is working through this shared interest that needs to be expressed, that's what happens. Okay. But in any case, I felt good about it too. You know, it's like saying, oh, there's someone out there who understands exactly what I understand. Of course, he was much deeper than I am, and I'm hoping that I can learn much more too by observing and watching him. Okay, so we have done this. In case that you are new to this, we each of these columns we add these numerical values and they come to 369, 369, 369. We have those. And we have revelation. We call revelation because these are words that has helped us in this journey of actualizing self-full love. Actualizing self-full love is what we are doing here. Becoming more aware of who we are and recognizing that we are water, which reminds me as well that water, the word water is also 13, I believe, or let's just look at that. Let's just look at that. Water. No, it's 22, but 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay, so water. Yes. So this is 51259, and so we have, okay, 5 plus 5, 10, and 9, 19, 20, 22. 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay. So just show you on here. Okay. I haven't got my table today. Right. So there we have dots. Back to dots where it was said that God had said to Moses that I am that I am. So just to give you a brief, I am, that. So we done the that, which is 13. This is 2, 8, 1, 2. When we add this together, this is 10 and 3, 13. I think it comes in exactly as the dots, D-O-T. Okay. All right, but this is 13. So 13, we see that is the B. So we can see whenever we say I am, we are establishing all the that I am. We make that declaration. Whatever comes into that 13 vibration, as long as it adds to that 13, or it adds to that 2, it comes in under that 2 column, or even that 22, 2 plus 2, it still comes under 4. It still comes under that vibration because 1 plus 3 is 4. So we could see how for instance, we could see how prominent or the significance of the 4 Gospels, for instance, or the 4 seasons, or the 4 elements. And this is like reminding us about that wholeness. Hence, we are coming back with presence. Presence is at the 4 points of the earth. So let's just revisit that and dots. So we have I am, let's look at this. This is 9 and 5. Okay, in case you're new to this, of course, as I say, we have the numerical values for each letter of the alphabet, but they come under the template of sacrifice. This is what we are working with. So this is 15. When we add 1, this is 14, sorry. When we add 1 and 1 plus 4, we have 5. So we add 9 plus 5 is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. Okay, 5. So we can see how the I am, that I am, so I am is 5, and then that is the 4, and of course we have I am, that, I am. So that would be, this is the thing, here, 5 plus 4 plus 5. When we add this together, we get 14. And here is why we have been talking about that Mother Eve is 14. The dots we have here to consolidate this illustration, or these findings. I'm going into scientific, giving it a scientific flair, if you like. And we are seeing how 14, when I talk about Mother Eve, EVE, we have 5, 4, 5, which is in the direct I am that I am. If you like, it was 4, 5, 4. We added together I am. When we add I am together, that gives us 5, and that the word that gave us 4, and of course we had 5 again. So we see that we have 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. So just in case you are new to this, but most of the templates or presentation to actualizing self-love, or I'm not very clear right now on the exact names that I have given them, but anything you see with presentations would explore how we come to seeing Mother Eve with 5, and how Christ, who we have formed this template on with the word sacrifice, which was intuitively presented to us, we see how we have got this 5 here. When we, again, I'm going to elaborate on this because I feel that that is the essential learning that is important for us to take from any presentation that we have, is to be able to see ourselves here in this position, that we are 5 here in this position. Of course, we are also 6. Now, of course, we learn about the symbols, the 5-pointed star, the hexagon. Of course, we are also number 9. We are also number 9 because when we do the numerical value for the word 9, it equals 6. So I'm not going to do this now, but I have done this before, and it comes to, so the word 9 comes to 24. 2 plus 4 is 6. So this confirms here. In fact, it's not saying that we are only this. All these are parts of who we are, but this is the position we want to be able to recognize ourselves in, because this is the position where one has opened the third eye. The eye has been opened, and this is where Eve had ate of the fruit, and her eye, the third eye, was open. So when the third eye is open, of course, which is what we believe that the sacrifice was all about, hence there was emphasis on the crown of thorns rather, of course, and the thorns, I believe, is, let's just do this, I believe is number 3. So THORNE. Okay, that's thorn. Or is there an R? I'm not even sure right now. Thorn. Okay, I'm not sure there is an R. But I think the answer will tell me 6, thorn, or thorn. Okay. 8 and 2. Okay, so this is 10, this is 20, this would be 26. That would be 8. So, thorn, that's correct, 8. So there we are seeing that it's the infinite ability. This is coinciding with the symbol of that which Eve had done, eaten of the fruit of knowledge. So here we are talking about the 8 hair in the mouth had eaten. So we are seeing that it's the mouth, there was food, hence the sacrifice was about, or the Last Supper rather, was about food, was about drink, was about nurturing. So when we are talking about nurturing, here with this Friday the 13th, for instance, the Friday actually, this is perhaps another thing that is very important to do on this presentation, is Friday is 5 Friday, and so 6994117, and if we add this together, we will have, let's do it like this. This is 10, 20, and that would be 36. I'm not sure I have this correct here. This is 7, this is 4, this is 1, 9, 9, 6. Okay, so I'm believing it's okay, well, it's 9. If it's 9, it's 9. Yes, I thought it was 5, but it's 9. Of course, 9 is that which births, and of course, we were told that Christ, of course, had died on the Friday or was buried on the Friday. Okay, so there we just to double check, which is 24, 24, and 7 is 31, and 32, 36. That's correct. 3 plus 6 is 9. Okay, so 9, of course, as I have showed on other presentation, this is where we are talking about Friday, which is there where it births. So talking about the number 13 is like saying on the Friday you are birthing on this 13, which was the day of the Last Supper, where Christ had the Last Supper with the 12 disciples, and Christ being 12 at the table, where he said, anytime you break of that bread, you have eaten of my flesh. Anytime you drink of that wine, you have drunk of my blood. Do this in remembrance of me. So there was a ritual that they had to pay attention to on the Friday. It would be whatever Friday, I don't know how often they did this, and people are doing this around the moon or around each quarter of the year or whatever, but it's done as a ritual that this would happen and that Christ would be remembered. Okay, but on the Friday, meaning it's the number 9, that would denote the newness. It's a new beginning. It's a new birth. It's a new agreement. And in this new agreement, that birth, that Friday, so we are really looking at these two numbers here, 9 and 2 here. 9 and 2, which would be like 9/11. That's another thing that people have learned how to use those numbers, because 11 would be 1 plus 1 is 2. So this is where we are seeing that the number 9 and the number 2, how they are used, because 2 is really powerful. You can't do anything without that agreement. To have an agreement, there have to be two entities agreeing. Whether you were to agree with your left side and your right side come together, there has to be agreement. Okay, so there we are. As I said, when we look at even the word revelation also coincides with this column, because revelation is 22. I believe it's 13 actually, or 31. That's correct. I won't go through doing the maths on there, but I think revelation is either 13 or 31. But when we do, of course, it's mirroring the B. If it was 31, it would be a mirror aspect of the B, because you only need to shift the 1. So whether it was 31 or 13, that would be the same. Okay, if we add them together, they both equal 4. All right. So I'm just checking if there is something else that I really want to cover on this presentation. Just trying to keep them short. It's already on 20 minutes. So we add dots. So you're told, so we go back to the dots, which is 13, and remembering that that perhaps is saying to us how flexible we can be, because if we are dots, we just need to breathe. Oh, and breathe actually I think is 5. We just need to focus or breathe or have agreements and to change the matrix, so to speak, change the way we do things or what we agree on or what we are shaking hands on. Okay, so thank you for watching this presentation and joining us. And of course, there are lots more on Crime Queen that you can watch and all different subjects. But they are really all about helping us becoming better versions and expressions of who we truly are. So I hope you have found this fun, because fun is what we also like to do or have on this channel. Okay, and join us, do share, do subscribe, and spill over with love. Thank you.